The conference room at the United Nations Extraterrestrial Liaison Center felt like a pressure cooker of tension. Jack Harper adjusted his collar, the fabric suddenly feeling too tight against his neck. The Zornak delegation stood at the far end of the room, 7 towering beings that looked like a nightmare fusion of mechanical exoskeleton and organic tissue. Their crystalline eye structures swept across the human representatives with a mixture of curiosity and barely concealed disdain. Ambassador Krulax, the lead Zornak representative, spoke first. His translation device produced a voice that sounded like grinding metal, each word precisely articulated. Humanity's technological portfolio is quaint. He began, the holographic display behind him showing a comprehensive breakdown of Earth's current technological capabilities. Jack knew this moment was critical. At 34, he was the youngest chief engineer at the International Space Defense and Research Consortium, selected for this meeting precisely because of his unconventional approach to aerospace technology. His specialty, magnetic mass driver systems, had been a source of both fascination and ridicule within scientific circles. The holographic display flickered, showing humanity's current technological achievements. Renewable energy networks, quantum computing prototypes, and space exploration technology scrolled by. But the Zornak's attention seemed fixated on what they perceived as humanity's most primitive technological approach. Your kinetic acceleration technologies are virtually prehistoric, Ambassador Krulax continued, a subtle vibration of derision running through his mechanical vocal apparatus. Our plasma-based weapon systems can generate energy outputs that would vaporize your entire magnetic acceleration platforms in microseconds. Jack caught the eye of Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the lead diplomatic liaison, who gave him an almost imperceptible nod. This was his moment. Prehistoric. Jack stepped forward, his voice calm but carrying a razor's edge of challenge. I'd be happy to demonstrate why our primitive technologies might be more advanced than you realize. The Zornak delegation exchanged a series of rapid clicks and vibrations, their version of shocked communication. No human had ever directly challenged them so quickly during first contact proceedings. Ambassador Krulax's crystalline eyes focused entirely on Jack. A demonstration. We have analyzed your technological databases. Your magnetic mass driver concepts are inefficient, energy-intensive, and fundamentally limited. Jack allowed himself a slight smile. The databases the Zornak had accessed were deliberately incomplete, a strategic decision made by Earth's top scientific advisory board. They had seeded global research databases with partial information, keeping their most advanced concepts carefully hidden. Inefficient. Jack repeated the word like a curious observer. I'd argue that simplicity is the highest form of sophistication. Sometimes, the most elegant solution is the one that looks the most straightforward. The room's atmosphere shifted. The human delegates, scientists, military strategists, and diplomatic corps watched the exchange with a mixture of anticipation and nervous energy. First contact scenarios were delicate, and here was a young engineer potentially risking diplomatic relations with the galaxy's most advanced known civilization. The Zornak's computational systems were already processing Jack's statement, searching for potential technological implications. Their entire civilization was built on complex, energy-intensive solutions. The concept of solving problems through simplified approaches was almost alien to them. We will hear your demonstration, Ambassador Krulax finally responded. A challenge and a dismissal wrapped in one statement. Jack knew this was more than just a technological presentation. This was humanity's first real opportunity to show the galactic community that they were more than just another emerging species. Every calculation, every design choice he had made over the past decade had been leading to this moment. The magnetic mass driver wasn't just a weapon or a launch system. It was a philosophy, a human approach to problem solving that valued efficiency, adaptability, and elegant simplicity. As Jack began preparing his presentation materials, he could feel the weight of expectation, not just from the humans in the room, but from billions watching the first contact proceedings globally. This was humanity's moment to prove that being underestimated was sometimes the most significant tactical advantage. The Zornak thought they were about to witness a quaint technological demonstration. Instead, they were about to experience a paradigm shift that would reshape their understanding of human potential. Would you like me to continue developing the narrative or focus on any specific aspect of this expanded first part? The demonstration facility was a marvel of human engineering, a massive underground complex nestled beneath the Nevada desert. Jack Harper stood before a massive magnetic acceleration platform that looked deceptively simple. To the Zornak delegation, it appeared almost primitive, a sleek track of metallic components, intricate coil systems, and what seemed like an almost archaic targeting mechanism. Ambassador Krulax and his team were positioned behind a high-grade quantum-reinforced observation window. Their biomechanical bodies hummed with integrated scanning systems, each preparing to dissect every microscopic detail of the demonstration. "We will now demonstrate the capabilities of our magnetic mass driver system," Jack announced, his voice calm and precise. "But first, let me provide some context that might challenge your current understanding." He activated a holographic display that began showing a series of complex calculations. The Zornak's computational systems immediately began processing, their crystalline eye structures flickering with rapid data interpretation. "Most advanced civilizations pursue energy-intensive solutions," Jack continued. "Plasma weapons, quantum destabilization technologies, quantum entanglement projection systems. We've studied them all. But humanity discovered something fundamental. Sometimes, the most efficient solution is the simplest one." The first projectile was a tungsten-titanium alloy cylinder, precisely machined to within microns of perfect symmetry. It looked unimpressive, barely 30 centimeters long, with a weight that seemed almost inconsequential compared to the massive acceleration platform. "Our target," Jack gestured to a reinforced titanium composite plate located 5 kilometers away, "is constructed from materials similar to those used in your most advanced defensive systems." The Zornak delegation exchanged a series of subtle vibrations. Their scanning systems were already mapping every potential trajectory, calculating potential energy dispersal, and predicting the projectile's behavior. What happened next defied their computational models. Jack initiated the launch sequence. The magnetic coils activated in a near-perfect synchronization that was almost musical in its precision. The projectile didn't just accelerate. It transformed into something that challenged the very laws of physics as the Zornak understood them. The tungsten-titanium cylinder moved so quickly that it appeared to momentarily phase between solid matter and pure energy. Traditional sensor systems would have struggled to track its movement, but the Zornak's advanced quantum-based sensors captured every microscopic detail. The projectile struck the titanium composite plate with such precision and energy that it didn't simply penetrate. It essentially vaporized a perfect cylindrical section of the material. The entry and exit points were so clean that it looked like a laser had cut through the plate. Absolute silence filled the observation room. Ambassador Krulax's computational systems were processing the data, running and rerunning calculations. The projectile had maintained near-perfect trajectory stability, demonstrated minimal energy dispersion, and achieved penetration capabilities that exceeded their most advanced weapon systems. "Impossible," one of the junior Zornak researchers muttered, their translation device momentarily glitching from the computational stress. Jack wasn't finished. He activated a second demonstration, this time showing how the same magnetic acceleration principles could be used for precision space launch capabilities. A scale model of a research satellite was positioned on a similar track, but this time with modifications that would make traditional rocket launches look like ancient technology. The satellite launched with such smooth acceleration that it appeared to simply vanish, transitioning from stationary to orbital velocity in a fraction of a second. No massive fuel expenditure, no complex multi-stage rocket systems, just pure, elegant acceleration. Energy efficiency, Jack explained, is about more than just raw power. It's about precision, minimal waste, and understanding fundamental physical principles. The Zornak delegation's entire understanding of technological progression was being systematically dismantled. Their civilization had always pursued complexity as a measure of advancement. Humanity was showing them that true innovation often meant radical simplification. Ambassador Krelax finally spoke, his translation device struggling to convey the mixture of shock and reluctant admiration. This challenges our entire technological paradigm. Jack allowed himself a slight smile. This was more than just a technological demonstration. This was humanity's declaration to the galaxy. We are not just another emerging species. We are problem solvers. We are innovators. The magnetic mass driver had just become humanity's first true diplomatic weapon, not through destruction, but through the pure, elegant demonstration of human potential. Would you like me to continue with Part 3 or elaborate on any specific aspect of this demonstration? The presentation hall buzzed with attention that defied traditional diplomatic protocols. Jack Harper stood at the center of a holographic display that was rapidly becoming a battlefield of technological ideologies. Behind him, intricate schematics of magnetic mass driver systems flickered and rotated, each diagram a testament to human innovative thinking. Dr. Elena Rodriguez positioned herself strategically near the control panel, her background in international technological diplomacy providing a critical counterpoint to Jack's technical brilliance. She understood that this was more than a scientific presentation. This was humanity's first comprehensive technological challenge to the established galactic technological hierarchy. Let me break down the core principles that make our magnetic mass driver technology fundamentally different. Jack began, his voice carrying a combination of academic precision and passionate conviction. The Zornak delegation was split. Ambassador Krelax and the senior researchers maintained a facade of diplomatic neutrality, but their biomechanical bodies betrayed subtle signs of technological stress. The younger researchers, those closer to what humans might consider early career scientists, leaned forward with an almost palpable sense of curiosity. Jack's first slide showed a comparative analysis of energy consumption. Traditional alien propulsion and weapon systems relied on complex quantum energy matrices that required massive power generation. The magnetic mass driver, by contrast, demonstrated an elegance of design that seemed to defy conventional technological wisdom. Notice how our system achieves near-perfect energy transfer, Jack explained. Each molecular interaction in the acceleration coils was mapped in real time, showing minimal energy loss. Where your systems lose approximately 60% of generated energy through heat and quantum dispersion, our magnetic acceleration achieves 94% energy efficiency. A junior Zornak researcher, designated as Vexinar in the diplomatic logs, couldn't contain a burst of translated communication. Impossible. Our most advanced quantum computational models suggest such efficiency is theoretically unachievable. Jack's response was immediate and surgical. Theoretically unachievable according to your current understanding. We didn't just achieve it. We reimagined the entire concept of energy transfer. The holographic display shifted, now showing multiple applications: space launch systems, planetary defense mechanisms, industrial manufacturing processes. Each demonstration showed how a single technological concept could be adapted across multiple domains. Dr. Rodriguez understood the deeper strategy. This wasn't just a technical presentation. This was a comprehensive challenge to the galactic technological establishment's fundamental assumptions about innovation and progress. Ambassador Krelax finally spoke, his translation device carefully modulating each word. Your demonstration suggests capabilities that challenge our entire technological paradigm. Yet, we require comprehensive verification. The challenge was both a diplomatic dismissal and an invitation. Jack recognized it immediately. The Zornak were offering humanity a chance to prove their technological claims through a series of comprehensive tests. We welcome comprehensive verification, Jack responded, his confidence unshaken. In fact, we encourage it. The younger Zornak researchers were now fully engaged. Their computational systems were running simultaneous analyses, cross-referencing the presented data with their vast technological databases. Some looked excited, others appeared almost threatened by the implications. Vexnar, the junior researcher, asked a question that would become legendary in diplomatic circles. How did your species develop this when our civilization, with millions of years of technological progression, did not? Jack's answer was both simple and profound. We don't see technological limitations as barriers. We see them as challenges to be systematically dismantled. The room temperature seemed to drop. It was more than a technical response. It was a philosophical declaration about human innovative potential. Dr. Rodriguez recognized the moment for what it was. Humanity was not just presenting a technology. They were challenging the entire galactic understanding of technological progression. The Zornak delegation's internal communication networks were now buzzing with intense computational discourse. Some advocated for immediate comprehensive testing. Others suggested diplomatic containment of these technological concepts. Ambassador Krelax raised a mechanical appendage, signaling a momentary pause. We will require extensive documentation, complete technical specifications, verification protocols. Jack's smile was subtle but definitive. Of course, we're prepared to share, with some strategic reservations. The technological warfare of concepts had begun, and humanity had just fired its first, elegantly simple shot across the bow of galactic technological assumptions. Would you like me to continue with Part 4 or elaborate on any specific aspect of this technological presentation? The global markets erupted like a financial supernova the moment the first details of the magnetic mass driver technology leaked. What had begun as a diplomatic presentation quickly transformed into the most significant technological disruption in human economic history. Wall Street trading algorithms went into overdrive. The New York Stock Exchange experienced its most volatile trading day in decades, with technological and aerospace stocks experiencing unprecedented fluctuations. Companies that had been struggling for years suddenly found themselves at the center of a global technological gold rush. Jack Harper watched from the International Technological Consortium's headquarters. A secure facility in downtown Washington, D.C. Screens surrounding him displayed real-time market reactions, investment flows, and global economic indicators that were shifting by the second. "This is beyond anything we anticipated," muttered Dr. Elena Rodriguez, her eyes fixed on a holographic display showing global investment patterns. Small engineering firms in Silicon Valley, previously overlooked research centers in Massachusetts, and even previously obscure space technology startups were suddenly receiving billions in investment. The Zornak diplomatic course had inadvertently triggered an economic revolution. Within 48 hours, 3 major developments shocked the global economic landscape. First, patent applications flooded global intellectual property offices. The United States Patent and Trademark Office received more applications in a single day than it had in the previous 5 years combined. Each submission represented a different application of magnetic mass driver technology, from space launch systems to advanced manufacturing processes, from planetary defense mechanisms to revolutionary transportation concepts. Lockheed Martin's stock price quintupled in less than 24 hours. A small MIT spin-off company called Quantum Acceleration Technologies saw its valuation jump from $12 million to over $3.2 billion in a matter of hours. Venture capitalists who had been cautious about space and advanced engineering technologies now fought desperately to secure any investment opportunity related to magnetic mass driver concepts. The second major development came from unexpected quarters. Alien economic research teams began intensive studies of human patent submissions. The Zornak Economic Research Consortium dispatched specialized teams to analyze every technical detail, looking for potential economic and technological implications. "They're trying to understand how we think," Jack observed to Elena. "Not just the technology, but the innovative process behind it." Global engineering universities experienced an unprecedented surge. Student applications for aerospace engineering, advanced physics, and material science programs increased by over 400%. Universities that had specialized magnetic acceleration research suddenly found themselves at the forefront of a global technological renaissance. The third development was perhaps the most shocking. Alien research divisions from multiple star systems began submitting licensing requests. What had started as a diplomatic demonstration was rapidly becoming a multi-planetary technological marketplace. Ambassador Krulax found himself in an unprecedented position. The Zornak Technological Licensing Bureau was overwhelmed with requests. Legal teams working around the clock to understand the complex web of human patent structures. This is more than a technological transfer, one senior Zornak economic advisor noted. This is a complete restructuring of our understanding of technological innovation. Jack Harper became an unexpected global icon. Technology magazines featured him on covers, economic journals analyzed his presentation techniques, and universities began studying the philosophical approach behind the magnetic mass driver concept. The economic impact extended far beyond immediate technological applications. Renewable energy sectors saw massive investment as researchers began applying magnetic acceleration principles to energy generation. Transportation technologies were reimagined. Space exploration concepts that had been theoretical now seemed achievable. Small nations with advanced engineering capabilities suddenly found themselves with unprecedented global influence. Countries like Israel, Singapore, and South Korea, known for technological innovation, became critical players in this new technological ecosystem. Within a week, the global economic landscape had been permanently altered. What the Zornak had intended as a diplomatic assessment had become a catalyst for a global technological and economic transformation. Jack looked at the screens, understanding that this was more than an economic event. This was humanity's declaration to the galaxy. We are not just participants in the global economy. We are its primary architects. The economic eruption had only just begun. Would you like me to continue with Part 5 or elaborate on any specific aspect of this economic transformation? The Krell attack came without warning. A massive fleet emerging from quantum slipstream space directly in the path of human outer colony systems. Their previous encounters with human settlements had been brief reconnaissance missions, always assuming technological superiority. This time, they came to conquer. Commander Sarah Reyes stood on the bridge of the UES Horizon, Earth's most advanced defensive platform. Her hands gripped the tactical display, watching the initial sensor readings with a cold, calculated intensity. The Krell fleet consisted of 237 capital ships, each capable of generating energy outputs that had decimated multiple alien civilizations. Incoming transmission, Lieutenant Michael Chen announced, his voice tight with tension. The holographic display flickered, revealing the Krell Warmaster, a grotesque amalgamation of biomechanical engineering. Its multiple eye structures pulsed with an aggressive crimson light. Human colonies, the translation matrix rendered its communication with mechanical precision, will be assimilated. Resistance is mathematically improbable. Sarah allowed herself a slight, dangerous smile. Mathematically improbable, she repeated, is our specialty. The first wave of Krell energy weapons powered up. Quantum destabilization cannons capable of reducing entire planetary surfaces to radioactive dust. Their targeting systems locked onto the primary human colony on Nueva Terra, a recently established settlement housing over 250,000 colonists. What happened next would be recorded in galactic military archives as the most unexpected defensive action in recorded interstellar conflict. Instead of traditional energy shields or plasma-based defensive systems, the human colonies deployed something entirely different. Massive magnetic mass driver platforms, which looked like nothing more than oversized industrial acceleration tracks, began powering up. The first projectiles launched looked almost underwhelming. Tungsten-depleted uranium rods, precisely machined and accelerated to near-relativistic speeds. No complex energy signatures, no massive power outputs that would typically alert defensive systems. Just pure, calculated kinetic potential. The first rod struck a Krell battlecruiser with such precise violence that it didn't just penetrate the ship's quantum shielding, it essentially ceased to exist as a coherent structure. The projectile moved so quickly that conventional sensor systems could barely register its passage. "Direct hit," Lieutenant Chen reported, his voice a mixture of professional calm and barely contained excitement. "Target neutralized." The Krell fleet's computational systems struggled to process the attack. Their entire military doctrine was built around energy-intensive weapon systems and complex defensive matrices. These human projectiles defied their most advanced predictive models. Sarah Reyes understood the deeper strategy. Every magnetic mass driver platform was a study in elegant, efficient destruction. Minimal energy input, maximum kinetic output. No complex quantum calculations, no massive power generation requirements. Just pure physics weaponized with human ingenuity. Warmaster Krellvax's communication became increasingly frantic. "Impossible." Computational models suggest. Another projectile. Another battlecruiser reduced to expanding plasma. The human defensive line wasn't just holding. They were systematically dismantling one of the most feared military forces in the known galaxy. Quantum shielding, which had been the pinnacle of defensive technologies for millennia, became almost comically ineffective against these precisely engineered projectiles. The Krell had no counter-strategy, no defensive adaptation. Humanity had turned basic physics into a weapon of unprecedented efficiency. By the engagement's conclusion, 212 of the 237 Krell ships had been destroyed. Not through complex energy weapons, not through massive fleet maneuvers, but through a technology so elegantly simple it defied traditional military understanding. The remaining Krell ships retreated, a first in their species' aggressive historical record. Commander Rice watched the tactical display, understanding that this was more than a military victory. This was a fundamental challenge to established galactic military doctrines. Lieutenant Chen broke the momentary silence. "Damage report." Sarah's response was calm, almost casual. "Minimal. Some depleted mass driver projectile inventories. No human casualties." The quantum communication networks would soon carry news of humanity's most unexpected military triumph. The Krell attack had been transformed from a potential genocide into a stunning demonstration of human technological innovation. Physics, precision, efficiency. Humanity had just rewritten the rules of interstellar conflict. Would you like me to continue with Part 6 or elaborate on any specific aspect of this military engagement? The Xenosociological Research Facility on Europa. A massive transparent dome nestled beneath the moon's icy surface, became ground zero for humanity's most comprehensive cultural analysis. Dr. Elena Rodriguez and Jack Harper found themselves at the center of an unprecedented scientific investigation that would reshape galactic understanding of human innovation. The primary research team consisted of 8 alien researchers representing different galactic civilizations. The Zornak, Trillax Collective, Quantum Consensus, and 3 other advanced civilizations had pooled their most sophisticated analytical resources to understand the fundamental human approach to technological and cultural innovation. "We are not just studying a technological breakthrough," Dr. Ventura, the lead Zornak Xenosociologist, explained during the first comprehensive briefing. Her crystalline computational structures hummed with intense analytical energy. "We are attempting to decode an entire species' cognitive approach to problem-solving." Jack understood the deeper implications. This was more than an academic exercise. This was a fundamental attempt to understand what made humanity fundamentally different from other galactic civilizations. The research methodology was comprehensive. They analyzed everything: educational systems, cultural narratives, historical technological progressions, economic structures, and individual psychological profiles. Thousands of human subjects were studied, their life experiences mapped and cross-referenced through advanced quantum computational systems. What emerged was a portrait of human innovation that challenged every existing galactic theoretical model. Most advanced civilizations develop technology through hierarchical, highly structured research processes. Each technological step was carefully planned, mathematically projected, and implemented with minimal deviation. Innovation was a controlled, predictable progression. Humans were different. Radically, wonderfully different. The research revealed a cognitive approach that the alien researchers struggled to comprehend. Humans didn't just solve problems. They reimagined entire conceptual frameworks. Their educational and cultural systems actively encouraged what the Zornak researchers termed disruptive cognitive processes. A human child was more likely to ask why not than accept existing limitations. Their educational systems rewarded creative problem-solving over rote memorization. Failure wasn't just accepted, it was celebrated as a critical part of the learning process. Your species doesn't just innovate, Dr. Ventura noted during one intense research session. You systematically deconstruct existing conceptual limitations. The magnetic mass driver technology became a perfect case study, where other civilizations would have spent centuries developing increasingly complex energy systems. Humans had looked at fundamental physical principles and found an elegantly simple solution. Economic structures played a critical role in this innovative ecosystem. Human venture capital systems actively rewarded high-risk, potentially transformative concepts. A small startup with a radical idea could receive millions in funding, an approach that seemed almost chaotic to more structured alien economic models. Jack and Alina became more than research subjects. They became living representations of this innovative approach. Our greatest strength, Jack explained during one research session, is our ability to see limitations as challenges, not barriers. The research team discovered something even more profound. Human innovation wasn't just about technological progression. It was a cultural philosophy, a way of perceiving and interacting with the universe that was fundamentally different from other galactic civilizations. Collaborative competition emerged as a key concept, where other civilizations saw technological development as a zero-sum game. Humans viewed it as a collective endeavor. Individual achievements were celebrated, but the ultimate goal was always broader technological and social progression. The magnetic mass driver became a metaphor for this approach: simple, efficient, adaptable. By the research project's conclusion, the alien researchers had compiled a comprehensive report that would reshape galactic understanding of human potential. They hadn't just studied a technological breakthrough. They had uncovered an entirely new model of species-level innovation. Dr. Ventura's final report contained a statement that would be quoted across multiple star systems. Humanity does not just solve problems. They fundamentally reimagine the very concept of problem-solving. The cultural revelation was complete. Humanity had demonstrated that true innovation wasn't about complexity, it was about perspective. Would you like me to continue with Part 7 or elaborate on any specific aspect of this cultural and sociological investigation? The Galactic Confederation Assembly Hall on Nexus Prime had never witnessed such a dramatic transformation. What had once been a rigid, hierarchical governing body was now experiencing a complete restructuring, driven by humanity's unprecedented technological and philosophical impact. Jack Harper stood as the primary human representative, accompanied by Dr. Alina Rodriguez and a carefully selected team of engineers, diplomats, and cultural experts. Behind them, holographic displays showcased humanity's technological contributions, each projection a testament to their innovative potential. Ambassador Krulax, who had once dismissed human technology as primitive, now found himself in the most uncomfortable diplomatic position in his species' history. The Zornak delegation's previously unassailable technological superiority had been systematically dismantled by a species they had initially considered inconsequential. The traditional technological progression models are no longer viable, announced Sharan, the quantum consensus representative. Her multidimensional computational body shifted with complex energy patterns. Humanity has demonstrated a technological approach that challenges our entire understanding of species development. The transformation was comprehensive and multi-layered. Human engineers were now sought after across multiple star systems. Research institutions that had once looked down on human technological concepts now competed desperately to recruit human scientists and engineers. The magnetic mass driver technology had become more than just a technological breakthrough. It was a symbol of a new approach to problem solving that was rapidly reshaping galactic technological paradigms. Space exploration underwent its most significant transformation in millennia. Human-designed acceleration platforms began replacing traditional propulsion systems. Resource extraction methods were completely reimagined. Planetary defense concepts were rebuilt from the ground up. Small nations that had previously been technological afterthoughts now found themselves at the center of galactic innovation. Countries like Israel, Singapore, South Korea, and emerging technological centers in Africa and South America became critical players in this new technological ecosystem. The economic implications were staggering. The Galactic Trade Consortium had to create entirely new classification systems to handle the flood of human technological innovations. Patent offices worked around the clock, processing submissions that redefined multiple technological domains. Jack understood that this was about more than technology. This was a fundamental reimagining of how civilizations could approach innovation. "We're not just selling technologies," he explained during a critical assembly session. "We're offering a new way of thinking about problem solving." The human approach spread beyond technological domains. Educational systems across multiple alien civilizations began incorporating human-inspired learning methodologies. The emphasis on creative problem solving, collaborative innovation, and seeing limitations as opportunities began to transform entire cultural approaches. Dr. Elena Rodriguez managed the diplomatic complexities with surgical precision. Each technological transfer, each collaborative research project was carefully negotiated to ensure humanity's interests were protected while maintaining an open, collaborative approach. The Krell, humiliated by their military defeat, found themselves increasingly marginalized. Their rigid technological approach now seemed antiquated compared to the dynamic human innovation model. Quantum communication networks buzzed with analyses, debates, and discussions. Cinesociologists, technological experts, and cultural researchers produced countless studies attempting to decode the human innovation phenomenon. By the end of the first galactic cycle since the magnetic mass driver demonstration, humanity had transformed from a newly discovered species to a central driver of technological and cultural progression. Ambassador Krulax, in a moment of remarkable candor, made a statement that would be recorded in galactic historical archives. "We did not encounter a new species. We encountered a new way of understanding technological and cultural progression." The transformation was complete. Humanity had not just joined the galactic community, they had fundamentally reshaped its understanding of innovation, potential, and progress. Jack Harper watched the holographic displays, understanding that this was just the beginning. The magnetic mass driver was more than a technology. It was a declaration, a testament to human potential that would echo across generations and star systems. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. Would you like me to continue with Part 8 or elaborate on any specific aspect of this galactic transformation? The lecture hall at the Interstellar Innovation Center was packed, not just with human scientists and students, but with representatives from dozens of alien civilizations. Jack Harper stood at the podium, a holographic display behind him showcasing the journey of magnetic mass driver technology from a simple concept to a galactic revolution. At 45, Jack had become more than just an engineer. He was a symbol of human innovative potential, a living embodiment of the technological philosophy that had reshaped galactic understanding. "Innovation is not about complexity," Jack began, his voice carrying the weight of years of research and discovery. "It's about perspective, about seeing the world and the universe not as it is, but as it could be." The audience represented a cross-section of galactic civilization. Zornak researchers with their crystalline computational structures sat alongside Trillax biological networks. Quantum consensus representatives, whose very existence challenged traditional concepts of consciousness, listened intently. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now the lead diplomatic advisor for extraterrestrial technology transfer, watched from the front row. Their journey had been more than a technological breakthrough. It had been a complete reimagining of human potential. Jack's presentation traced the evolution of magnetic mass driver technology. What had begun as a simple concept in an underground research facility had transformed multiple aspects of galactic civilization, space exploration, planetary defense, resource extraction, energy generation. No sector remained untouched by the human approach to innovation. Our greatest strength, Jack explained, has never been about having the most advanced technology. It's about our ability to look at existing limitations and see them as opportunities. The holographic display behind him showed a comprehensive timeline. The initial diplomatic presentation, the economic explosion, the unexpected military engagement with the Krell, the cultural and technological transformation that followed. Vexnar, the young Zornak researcher who had been present during the first demonstration, now sat as a senior technological advisor. Their journey paralleled the broader galactic transformation, from skepticism to profound respect. The magnetic mass driver had become more than a technology. It was a philosophical approach to problem-solving that had fundamentally reshaped galactic civilization. We didn't just create a new technology, Jack continued. We demonstrated a new way of thinking. An approach that sees limitations not as barriers, but as invitations to innovate. Educational systems across multiple star systems had been completely transformed. The human model of learning, which emphasized creative problem-solving, collaborative innovation, and seeing failure as a critical part of the learning process, had become the standard. Small nations that had once been technological afterthoughts now led global innovation. Research centers in unexpected locations, from Lagos to Bangalore, from Santiago to Nairobi, had become global innovation hubs. The economic implications continued to ripple across civilizations. The Galactic Trade Consortium had been completely restructured. Technological transfer protocols were rebuilt to accommodate the dynamic human approach to innovation. Our legacy, Jack said, his voice reaching a crescendo, is not about the technologies we've created. It's about the possibility we've demonstrated. The understanding that innovation is not a destination. It's a continuous journey of reimagination. The audience was transfixed. Alien researchers who had spent millennia developing increasingly complex technological solutions now understood the power of elegant simplicity. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stepped forward, joining Jack at the podium. Their partnership had been at the heart of this transformation. Technical brilliance matched with diplomatic finesse. We are not just participants in galactic civilization, she added. We are its primary architects of potential. The magnetic mass driver had become a symbol, not just of human technological capability, but of a fundamental approach to understanding the universe. Simple, elegant, transformative. As the lecture concluded, Jack looked out over the audience. Representatives from dozens of civilizations, each transformed by a technology that had begun as a simple concept in a small research facility. Humanity had done more than join the galactic community. They had redefined what was possible. The legacy was complete, but the journey of innovation was just beginning. Would you like me to elaborate on any specific aspect of this final part, or do you have any reflections on the complete story outline?